Hello, and welcome to Shamrock Talk, the internet's #1 Mother-Son Celtics podcast. I'm your host, Jake Olin, here once again with my mother, Karen Olin.
Sporting the green. Woo!
Celtics hat, Celtics sweatshirt.
I just got back
all
from the gym,
in.
so needed to cover my sweaty hair.
Yeah, look at my hair. Crazy. The year unemployed hair. We're recording this Tuesday afternoon, November 29th. Took a week off for Thanksgiving, but we're back. Lots of games to talk about.
Lots of wins.
Lots of wins. It's getting a little shocking.
Yes. Well, we got the Bulls at least.
Yeah.
Talk about the Bulls at least.
We'll get there.
All right.
So yeah, we can get right into it. 6 games since we last talked. Yeah, when you take a week off, some of these are a long time ago. So gotta dig back into our brains and we'll quickly run through all these. So first one was Celtics win 117-109 over the Pelicans Friday night 2 weeks ago, I think, or a week from last Friday. Yeah, what do you got? What can you remember?
My high was Derek White, 26 points, and played with so much confidence. I just thought he looked phenomenal. Next to Jaylen Brown, he was second highest scorer. He just played incredibly well. So he was my high. What was your high? You remember anything?
I had him and Al, and just the first quarter in general. Oh my God, couldn't miss. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like 3 after 3.
Al was
I had White too. Al couldn't miss, and just the first quarter was like insane. It's like the best I've seen us play all year, and that's saying something.
Agreed. And no Zion though. I mean, it'll be more.
That's true. I mean, of course.
Without Zion, because our defense, who takes him on? I think that's going to be.
Yeah.
That would have been an interesting because we don't really have. I mean.
He's
Grant,
not that huge though. Yeah, Grant would be. I
just think he's rough, and we don't have a lot of big rough players. And it's gonna be interesting. But anyway, no Zion. Good game. My high was Derek White. My low was Brogdon and Jaylen Brown, and they're 7 turnovers each.
Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah. My low was turnovers. So same vein there. We just got so sloppy. It's like, oh my goodness.
The second half was extremely painful to watch.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown was 7. They didn't each have, but I just didn't think Brogdon played very well. He shot 1 for 8, 12%. I mean, he just was not playing well. And he didn't have that many minutes. I think that's why Derek White played so much, because he was playing so well. But again, Jaylen Brown just had that dribble, lose it, kind of run into people. I don't know, bad passing. Yeah. He just lost it a little bit in the second half. So, shot efficiently. I will give him that. And he had 10 rebounds. So we played well, just a little bit crazy there in the end. But we won. In the end, it got a little closer than I would have liked, like it normally does. We seem to, Jason Tatum
that's the theme.
40 minutes he played, 39 minutes, 28 seconds, and he shot 33% from the floor and 20% from 3, 2 for 10 from 3. So that's a little bit of the reason why I think it was a little closer than it should have been, along with our turnovers. So, but we won. Hey, I'll take it.
We did. All right. Next one on the docket. Single loss of the week, or the 2 weeks. 2 weeks. This was last week. Celtics fall at the Bulls 107-121. Just a real stinker. It stunk. It's very weird.
Started out low energy, didn't we?
The whole game was low energy. I was like, what?
Low energy. Not good defense. I don't know. It's just very interesting. I said my high was Brogdon passing. He actually, I thought, had
Yeah,
a much better game, and his assists
correct.
were pretty high. And I thought he looked better than the previous
Yeah,
game. So
he was
that
my
was my
high.
high.
He was my high as well. I think it was
Yeah,
his first game since kind of coming back from injury that he looked kind of the same as he did pre-injury.
exactly.
So,
Exactly. Yep.
um,
I thought he was back.
yeah, I
And
agree. That was
also
my high as
Jason
well.
Tatum, 11 rebounds. He worked very hard. So on the rebounding end. So he was another one of my high. I thought he looked like he was working hard. What was your low? I mean, your low besides the whole game.
Yeah. I had a couple. Defensive effort, as you said, it was just bad. We just low energy. Didn't really show up just effort wise, I thought. And then two was what I think is going to be a big theme this year is the reliance on the threes, because the threes were not falling.
That was my, yep.
And
I'm
that
with you.
is going to kill us seemingly all year because we
50.
rely a lot on the
50
three.
out of 87. 50 threes out of 87 shots. And if we're not hitting them, what? Yeah. So
I mean,
that I
thankfully we
agree.
have hit a lot this year, but yeah, if
Yes.
games like this are going to happen where it's like, oh man, if you can't hit anything from three, it's like,
yeah,
the whole game is just off.
agreed.
So yeah, those are mine.
I also had, as far as defense and fouls, we did not have enough for this kind of game. We should have had a lot more foul trouble, a lot more fouls. And that just kind of, I think, when you look at a game where you're losing and it's somewhat close, you should have more fouls. You should be more aggressive, right? And if you look, Grant Williams had one, you know, yeah, we just didn't have enough. Tatum was the only one. He did have 4, but I just think you really got to get aggressive, and I don't think they had some of the team just didn't have enough fouls for my liking. And that goes to low energy on defense in my mind. But again, too many threes, 50 threes. It's great when you're making them, but are we relying on over 50% of our
Agreed.
shots being threes? It's going to be interesting. Yeah, it just wasn't a great game. Not much else to say. Hey, they've had some good games. They beat the Bucks, and they just beat the Jazz, and they had a super close overtime one with somebody else. So they're not a bad team. All in all, I think
bad. I mean, they're 9-11. Let's not get carried away.
Yeah, but I think they've had some close games though. I think they're an okay team.
Yeah.
So I will give that to
DeRozan and
teams.
Levine are very streaky. So if you catch him on a good
Well,
night,
he
really
had that
you.
bad. Somebody commented on how bad he's been playing. You remember? His
Levine?
father had told him, and
Yes.
so the announcers were talking about that the whole game.
Yeah,
so he definitely, I think, was trying much harder than the first game.
Yeah, he got benched in the fourth quarter, like a game.
Or so, yeah. So anyway, I think he stepped up a little bit for them, especially in that game. But that's okay. We came back after that.
If we recorded last week, we might have had a little more pessimism, but after we got another 4 straight wins to talk about, so it was just it was an anomaly stinker, I guess.
Yeah, with you.
Moving on from there, primetime game. Celtics beat the Mavericks 125-112. Man, the Mavericks looked terrible.
This is my nightmare. This makes me love Jason Tatum's ISO because I would die. I would die if I had to watch Luka every single game.
Oh my gosh.
His teammates
so bad.
Once the announcer said his teammates have to help him, and I'm like, when do they know when to help?
Yeah.
Because that man is an ISO. What percentage of the game? It's so painful.
It's unbelievable. He had 42 points. I thought he stunk. I thought he was terrible all game. Just helps his teammates not at all, not dynamic. His one move was to just post up whoever and take a shot. And he makes a lot of them. Great, but just pitiful. I mean, their whole offense.
You could say you could say he had 9 assists. why do you have 9 assists? Because he has the ball in his hands
Yeah,
all the time.
every play,
all
of
the time.
course. Yeah, of course. It was
Yep.
stat padding at its finest. He had the
Yes.
worst 42 points I've ever seen.
So it was painful.
But
Agreed.
it's so disappointing too, because I loved like how Luka at least used to play. Like this is not what he like came into the league doing. Like he was
And remember, go ahead.
Point guard. He, fast break, could, use the break, pass well, create his own shot on the perimeter. It's like, oh my, posting him up on the block, play after play after play with no movement is like just absolutely agonizing.
Yes, the whole thing is. I can't even imagine being his teammates.
I know.
It's painful for them, I'm sure. And the whole point is he's number 1 for the MVP. Remember the other day when I was saying it's disappointing? It's disappointing to kind of feed somebody like that, to be number 1 in the MVP. He's number 1 in the MVP talk. Where's his team? Where is his team in the standings? They're not very high right now.
No, Tatum was easily the best player in that game.
Yes.
And
you could tell he worked very hard, and it's almost like he was fired up by playing Luka.
But yes, well, did you hear Jaylen Brown after the game?
What did you say? No,
Jaylen Brown. Someone asked him like about because I guess Tatum was on the injury report before the game, and someone asked him about like Tatum playing in this game, and Jaylen Brown was like, no, he had this game circled. He was playing. There's no question.
Of course he is.
Yeah, there's no question. He was playing.
Dad said at the beginning that he was iffy about playing, and then he played this kind of game, and I'm like, that's not what? Like, is that a joke to throw somebody? What? Yeah. Questionable. He's questionable this game. Well, is he? Because what was the injury?
Yeah.
What was going on?
I hit that great block on Luka too. That was big.
No, he was 13 rebounds, 5 assists.
He was great.
Yeah. Again, I will point out in both the first game that we talked about in this game, his 3-point percentage in this game was 28%. In the first game, his 3-point percentage was 20%, Jason Tatum's. And for me, it's kind of an ongoing thing here. The number that he's shooting, the number of threes, and his percentage. Even though we've been shooting threes, there have been many games where the other, bench and other people have brought up our rate, because I don't think he's shooting threes all that well.
No.
In general. And he takes a lot. Anyway, just brought up that point. That was the only area in that game that I did not think he did well.
Yeah.
So my high was Jason Tatum. What was your high?
My high was ball movements. I mean, when you compare us to the Mavericks, it's like, oh my gosh, we actually move the ball well. I mean, like like we play actual basketball. It's not like hard to watch.
And this year, I think we've gotten much better with that.
Oh my God, it's like night and day. It's like I don't know. We'll get to this later because I want to do our quarter season review as we're just hit the quarter mark. But yeah, that was my high. My low was, just kind of third quarter falling asleep. It's like it's not like the Mavericks did everything different. We just kind of weren't scoring and just kind of went through the motions. I never felt like the game was ever in danger, but
no, I think that's a big quarter where Jason Tatum was shooting and not shooting well. I think that right around the third quarter, he just was not hot. And
Luka started hitting some crazy shots. They just kind of
my low was still putting Hauser in and not figuring out how to use him well. That was my low again in that game. Just too few shots for when he comes in. And I think that would take a lot of pressure if they can get him hot, even for the few minutes that he's in. That would take some pressure off Tatum. And so I really wish we would, some of the 3-point shots he's taking, we have not set him up well at all. He is not getting very many, great shots.
I agree, but Yeah, I agree with you. And sometimes I feel like he's forcing it. He feels like he has to shoot when he like gets the ball, and
Yes.
it's like, well, he just like chucks it up. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
why? Like,
Well,
he didn't need to do that.
literally he comes in and I'm waiting and I'm waiting, and that's what he's known for. His percentage is very good. You set him up, and if he gets off a good shot, very high percentage, very high percentage. But I wish we would figure out how to use him effectively, and it stood out in that game to me that we have not figured that out yet. And he is getting better at defense. I will give him that. His defense is getting better. But anyway, we won.
Yep.
And we don't have Luca. Yes.
Thank God. All right, next one. Another win at home, little home stand here. Celtics win 122-104 over the Sacramento Kings. I think we're gonna have the same high for this game because it really flipped. Unbelievable.
That was so fun. The bench.
I just had Cornette and Pritchard.
Yep, PP, Cornette, and Hauser for me. When those three were in,
yeah. Changed the game. I think were we down when they came in, or had we just taken the lead? I don't remember, but we were down, and I can't remember if they came in after we had taken the lead, but it looked like it was going to go the Kings' way until they came in.
You're right, because I was shocked that they came in.
Yeah,
you're right. I think we might have either been tied or down by 1 or 2.
I think we were down by like 4.
It was a shock, or what? Yeah,
correct.
It was a shock that they were coming in.
Agreed.
I was shocked. Yeah. It was a great
credit
move.
to Missoula. Yeah, credit to Missoula for that, because
first
that
gutsy
switched
move I've seen.
everything.
Yes, yeah, agreed. Yes, I agree.
And it's not even just this game, because the lineup of Cornette, Pritchard, Hauser, Brogdon, Tatum is like my favorite lineup. Anytime we put that in, they play great minutes together. Tatum can kind of control the ball, and the other guys know how to move off the ball, and Tatum is able to, see them and create shots for other people or create shots for himself. I mean, it just works extremely well anytime they're in. And I mean, we went on like a 19-0 run after that or something, and just ran away with a otherwise very close game.
I think Pritchard played the rest of the game. That game. Yeah. Once he came in.
Or I think he came out and then back in, but yeah.
He
got more minutes.
Yeah. Because it was first half when they came in, right? Yeah.
No, it was set third quarter.
Yeah, no, he played the whole game. He stayed
the entire game.
It up. I think he did.
That seems crazy.
I was a little bit shocked.
Played 15 minutes. He's a team high plus 22.
Yeah. For some reason, I thought that was the game.
Hauser was a plus 21, Cornette plus 19, and Brogdon plus 21.
That was super
Those
fun.
guys flipped the game for sure.
My lows, still not shooting the 3 well. That was my low. 25% and 33%. Still not.
What? The Jays? Or
Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, we shot 42%.
They didn't, at least they didn't shoot that many, but 25 and 33. I'm telling you, if you look per game, our percentage goes up, but there are some of them where it's not because of their shooting. So that was a low for me, because I think we're relying on the threes a lot. And as we get to closer games, I'm a little bit worried about that stat, because you're not going to see Pritchard and Hauser as much and whatever. So I get a little worried.
Yeah, I agree. So I would in general agree with you, but like, I mean, we're a quarter way through the season. We haven't stopped hitting threes. It's unbelievable. I mean, again, we'll get to this later, but it's like, at this point, it's like, is this just what we are now? But as I said, we'll get to that. Got a couple more games to get through, and then we can kind of talk some overall theme stuff. After that, we have another win. Shocker. Spoiler alert. Celtics beat the Wizards 130-121 in a game that was not as close as that score says, I don't think. But
no, it wasn't. They caught up a little bit at the end. Yeah, that was painful. The first time we played them, it was painful. The second time we played, it was painful. Like, I don't even know. I have to say Bradley Beal scores quietly because I'm always shocked when I see how many points he has. It just doesn't seem like it's
that
the
is going to be one
superstar.
of the worst contracts in the NBA in like a
Yeah,
year.
I
They
don't know.
just gave
Yeah.
him a super max. They just last year gave him they have 5 more years of him at the super
And
max level.
he
That
shot
is
almost
insane.
60%, but he just doesn't
He
seem like
doesn't
he's.
change the game though. He's just like
No.
another
Yeah.
guy. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
Like he's not a
I
guy
agree.
that's like killing you. You're not like, oh man, Bradley Beal, or like, I mean, obviously we crushed them.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah.
I just a boring game. Never felt like it was out of control or
Correct.
we were going to lose. I don't even particularly have any highs. Do you have
I had
a
the
high?
bench as a high.
Yeah.
But again, Cornette, Hauser, Brogdon, all good.
Yeah, Brogdon played really well that game.
Yeah, I thought they all came in the first half, and it was like, because what we were up because our starters were just better than theirs.
Yeah.
And then our bench came in. It's like, oh, our bench is better than yours too. Game over. It was like,
yeah,
it was over that fast. And I guess another high is just getting an easy win without Tatum. It was like, oh, doesn't even like he can rest. They showed a stat during the game that was crazy. Since the 17-18 season, Tatum has the most minutes in the NBA.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
1,000 more than anyone else. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So to be able to give him a break is like a thumbs up, because that is insane and not sustainable. And credit to him, because he is an Iron Man. He is never hurt. He never takes a night off. He's an absolute tank.
Yes.
And so towards the end of last year, he was banged up and, in the finals and just played too many minutes and was just tired. You could tell, but I mean, never missed a game, never, complained.
Yes.
He's an Iron Man. 1,000 more minutes than anyone else is insane.
Agreed.
So yeah, as you said, other than that, boring game. My only low was third quarter. They kind of crushed us, but we were like, there was really no worries.
It was good enough. Yeah.
Yeah, it was get out of the game and on to the next one. So yeah, not much else there.
Agreed. Wizard, I mean, they've won some games too.
They like don't have they're 10-10. I mean,
they're kind of in that
better now. Let's see.
Middle.
11-10. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't see it.
Get how.
I don't see it, but they're two good players. Two people that stand out to me anyway. But anyway. Not a lot to talk about. I just think it's very uneventful.
No, actually, my opponent of the week is actually from the Wizards, but
mine too.
In a second,
maybe we have the same one.
Yeah, maybe
I bet we do. That's so funny.
Last game, you're gonna have to take this one because I can't watch this game. NBA League Pass is just not working. Couldn't watch it this morning. It's just broken. I can't play the game.
I'm just gonna throw out there.
I saw the highlights. I've seen the score, but yeah. Celtics beat the Charlotte Hornets 140-105.
Okay, number one, that poor team, that poor coach. All I would say is I like nothing. Terry Rozier is coming back. I guess his was just an illness. He didn't play.
Oh no, that's called we're trading him and we're tanking so you can sit out some games.
Yeah.
They're trying to trade all their older players. They're tanking.
Painful.
If he doesn't want to play, that works for them.
And why is Hayward traveling with them? He was on the bench.
As I said, I didn't know he was there. Like, who knows? He's another guy that's going to get traded.
Sat on the bench. He's got a shoulder fracture. He's out indefinitely. Like, what? Why are you traveling with him?
Man.
Just got to be painful. It's got to be. That was the best thing we ever did. Get rid of him. And I like him as a person, as a player. I like him, but yes, nothing but injuries at this point. They were saying he played 46 games is the average since he's gone back to the Hornets. Is the most he's played. Okay, so my high was Cornette. He is hilarious. Played a terrific game, I thought. it was so fun. The whole high was, it was so fun to watch. Random people. Blake Griffin had some great plays.
Yeah.
He played well.
I saw his dunk. The mysterious minutes of Blake Griffin. Doesn't play for like 3 weeks. And it's like, he's starting tonight. Okay. What?
Well,
okay.
And he played 21 minutes.
Yeah.
He came out because he had 4 fouls. That's the only reason he came out. He played well.
It's so weird.
What is his role?
Yeah, it's very bizarre that he just won't play for weeks at a time.
But he's very upbeat
game.
And very complimentary to other people, whether he plays
Agreed.
or not. His attitude is phenomenal. So yeah, no complaints with him.
Huge thumbs up.
Yeah, he played well. But anyway, Cornette, Blake Griffin, I just thought it was a really fun game for random people. And I think Vonleh or Cabangeli, somebody had a 3 and everyone went wild near the end of the game. It was just everybody cheering at everybody. It was
them at a 3.
Maybe he shot a 3. Maybe it was a dunk.
Yeah, they shot a 3. They each shot a 3.
Oh,
Cabangeli,
maybe it wasn't them. It was somebody
Blake
random,
Griffin.
I thought. Anyway, they all had fun. It was a super fun game. A lot of passing. It was really good. Low, I really didn't have a low in the whole game because we were ahead.
Yeah, we won by like
20 to 30 points. Yeah, 35 points we won by. Yeah, it really wasn't a low. One complaint I will say, I thought Jason Tatum played a great game, with the exception of 14 threes, 29 minutes.
Not correct.
4 for 14, 28% at the 3. And there was one part, we were up 30 points. There was one time when Kelly Oubre was playing defense on him and slapped the ball away from him on defense, kind of ruined this was later in the game, I think third quarter, I can't remember. And then the next time down, Kelly Oubre stripped him, and he was doing his dribble up, eyeball, whatever, trying to get in his last points, get his points per game higher and higher. And they dunked it, easy point or whatever. And I think he was just frustrated, but he gets the inbound pass and tosses it behind him to Brogdon and Smart, who were coming up with him. They almost lost the ball because instead of dribbling it up, I think he was just mad and he just tossed it behind him. And I'm thinking, if you can't be like somewhat relaxed in a 30-point win against the Hornets, like what is going on? So I don't think he was pleased about his 3-point percentage or whatever. So 28 shots, 53, he was going inside. I thought that was fine, but 50% of his shots were threes and he shot 28%. So that was my sort of, I think, a little bit of a complaint, but it was a weird game. We were winning by a lot. I knew he was gonna, keep his average up because he is in the running for MVP, and he should be. I completely think he should be. But yeah, other than that, good game.
Yep.
Good win.
Not one I'll have to go back to.
And I just felt sorry. There were cringe-worthy moments where I was just like, they just want this game to be over with. Like, that's a hard season. And I'm thankful that we have not had a season like that in a long time.
They're in the Wembanyama sweepstakes.
Yeah, that's what they were saying last night.
Tanking for Wembanyama.
Yeah. Because I don't know, LaMelo Ball, what's going to happen with him? Are you going to trade him too?
Not if they get Wembanyama. Pair them together. But yeah, that's it.
I don't know about this. Don't you remember what all the craze with Zion Williams?
I mean, he's
remember
really
that?
good.
Do you remember the craze? Same thing. Yeah. This is the exact same talk.
No.
He was gonna. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I think a lot of pressure put on that.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
and the difference is he's 7'4" and he shoots threes. Yeah. 7'4". Oh.
We'll see.
Yeah, Zion wasn't even the number 1 recruit coming out of college. It wasn't until college that his hype train really took off. But
and boy did they hype.
Yep, but that's it. We got through all 6.
Not a lot. Not a lot when you're winning.
No, just wins.
Yep.
I mean, like in all of these games, but the Bulls, we must have had 20-point leads, right?
Yes,
Every single
yes.
one.
A few of them
I think we had we
we have
squandered
our
some
cold,
leads, but
cold spot where they start to, and you could see Missoula like, oh no, we can't do this. What's going on? He scrambles, puts the starters back in, or there were a couple of those games. But yeah, for the most part, easy. I think pretty easy wins. And the Bulls was a weird game. Like I said, our intensity was low, I thought. And I think the Bulls were the best out of all these teams that we've played. Out of all those 6 teams, I thought the Bulls were the best. Record doesn't show it necessarily, but I think they were the best team we played.
Kings actually did play well.
Yes.
So they kind of fell apart at the end. They're the numbers.
Team.
Number one offense, which is kind of shocking. I'm not sure.
Yeah, their offense is interesting, and I've always liked Sabonis. I like how he plays.
Mm-hmm.
All
right.
Yeah, they had moments in the second half of showing what they were made of.
Mm-hmm.
All right, player of the week.
Opponent of the week.
See if we have the same one.
Who do you got?
Porzingis.
Same.
Did you
here.
too? Yeah.
I've always loved Porzingis. Always. Since he was drafted. I couldn't believe the Knicks fans booed him. I couldn't believe it. I've just always been a fan. I don't know.
They did not use him in the second half. The first half, he
dominated. First quarter. Oh my gosh.
I thought he couldn't miss. His shooting percentage was so high, and then he barely shot in the second half.
Yeah, it went away from it.
What are you doing? We have nobody really to guard him at this point. So why wouldn't you use him? Yeah. Defense,
I've always
soft at times, but offensively,
he's not.
Yeah,
but he's big enough to block shots and affect shots defensively that it's not like he's a minus defensive player.
Agreed. I don't know why.
He's very offensively skilled.
Yes. Moves incredibly well.
There's a ton of moves. Yeah, can step back, hit a jump shot, can post up, kind of get to the basket.
But how does he only have 11 shots total in the game?
I don't know.
That's crazy to me. Yeah.
Why?
26 minutes. I don't know. I agree with you.
Yeah. Always been a Porzingis guy. Still am.
Yeah. Agreed. He was my pick as well. That's so funny.
I know. 6 games. Just random, such a random choice.
Yeah. And so underutilized. That's what
Yeah. Especially on a team that like doesn't have a ton.
Yes. Nobody else stood out.
No. You have Denny
Barton,
or whatever his name is, the
Barton
Israeli
played
guy.
more minutes, and he was 2 for 8, 0 for 4.
They have like Denny Advija or whatever his name is, the Israeli guy that starts for them, and every single time Jaylen Brown matched up with him, he just scored. It's unbelievable. It's like they just switch him out. Jaylen Brown, you just one dribble and you just lay it in. It's like you just couldn't guard him all game.
Yeah, some of these teams, not good defense.
No.
All right.
That gets us next agenda item. We are 21 games this season. There's no exact quarter mark because it doesn't divide evenly, but basically exactly a quarter way through the season. And the Celtics have the best record in the NBA. Can't complain about that.
We potentially injury free. We could pull it off this year.
Oh, we look really good. I don't want to,
I mean, their teams obviously
as they say
have not played. It's all about matchups, but
yes, but we do look very, very good.
Yes.
This is I would say best case scenario so far.
Yes.
Just the way we play too. It's like fun. It's like ball movement, hit the open guy for 3 and D kind of role players, and
it's funny that you say cutting and passing, and it just seems like we're doing a much better job. And I think we have a lot of passers between Brogdon and Derek White now being a little more confident, and I think and even Marcus Smart's passing well. I think now we have a lot of passers, and we got some talent. So the funny thing was during the Kings game, Scal was interviewing Missoula, and he said the previous game they had cut a lot of good passes, whatever. And his question was, is cutting at the midcourt what good teams are doing now? I'm thinking to myself, isn't that what good teams have been doing for a long time? Like cutting away from the ball, haven't you, because now that's the Celtics are getting good at it. Those passes, and that it's almost like a regular thing now. But it was just so funny. I'm like, isn't that what we want as many times as we can get it? Because those are easy points, And and my wish is that Tatum gets more of those cuts away from the ball and gets some easy points, because my worry with him is he is driving more, and he is driving into a lot of guys, and I don't want him to get hurt. That's a hard way to get points. It really is.
Correct.
And I'm glad he's drawing fouls, but I don't want him to get hurt. So, I really think there is a fine line where I think he needs to be cutting a little more away from the ball and getting some easy hoops. So that's my wish for him.
Agreed.
And he's skilled enough and strong enough. It should be happening a few times.
And just play less minutes. There's just some minutes we don't need him in. I mean, the other night proved anything. It's like we can win with him sitting a fourth quarter if we're up 20. Like you don't need like it's what annoys me is there seems to be no in between him resting a game and him playing a full game. Like, why is there okay, we're up 15, we're gonna take you out if it gets tough, 6
what
5
do you
points,
think it has to do with?
But I mean, true and fair enough. But then why
points per game, MVP?
Yeah.
I mean, now that he's in the running, I think I'm kind of bummed about that whole thing in some ways, because
agreed.
I think, unfortunately, that's a fine line. Once you have it in your head and you're up there, like that's hard to, let it go when you're in the top 5. And how many games can you have in the 20s or with 20 points and still be up there, right? So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting the way that they play. But I agree. I just don't want him to get hurt. It's early in the season, and he is playing a lot of minutes per game.
Yep.
And in some games, he doesn't need to be playing that many minutes.
No,
right? That is a choice. Yeah, that is a choice. So I agree with you as far as load management. He really needs to pay attention, because that would be sad. Well, all in all, I guess everybody's trending in the right way.
It's hard to complain. I mean,
no, I know.
It's been unbelievable. And it's funny because it's like, oh, well, we were in the finals last year. Should you expect to be the best team in like the East? It's like last year felt like a fever dream. We were like terrible half the year. Like we were like a bad team the first half of the year, and then just like it just like clicked, and it was like like the whole time you're expecting it to like revert back to the team that was like bad, because it's the same team, and this is the same team for the most part, other than Brogdon and Hauser getting some minutes. This is the same team.
So I think Derek White stepped up a little more. I think he's more confident as well. I think we are getting comfortable, and we have a lot of experience. There's a lot for a young team. There's a lot of experience on that team. So I think this could be our year.
But it's just like this is the first half of the year that it's like, oh man, like we actually look really good. Haven't had that feeling in a while, where it's like from the beginning of the year, like we look like we could be there at the end.
We have some tough teams to play, though, I think.
Oh yeah, we still got the Bucks. We can come up to our schedule now. We got a couple interesting ones, but last 10 games actually very interesting. Celtics are 9-1. The second place Miami Bucks are 5-5. Third place Cleveland Cavaliers are 5-5. So both teams are kind of hit a little more.
So they have some injury issues, though, right?
Yeah, I'm
the Bucks
sure.
have had some injury issues.
Yeah,
and Middleton is anything? I don't know what his injury update is. Because without Middleton, I think the Bucks are compromised. I mean, they
for sure.
I mean, they need him. They need a second scorer. It cannot fall on.
Agreed. Yanni.
And the Sixers, I feel bad for Embiid. I just feel bad for him. Yeah, he's going to have a rough season if he doesn't get some people around him working. And then the Clippers are another one when they're healthy. It's going to be interesting to play the Clippers with.
Who knows? I mean,
yeah, with
it's Kawhi, like
Paul
even
George.
Kawhi hasn't played in like 5 years. What's going on over there?
He hasn't played one game this year.
No, he's
he
like
did.
kind of back now. Yeah, he was back. He played like one game
Yeah.
and then sat a long time, and then like.
Can you imagine being the Clippers?
I know. We play them soon, actually.
Yeah.
I guess we can get into that. Last thing is looking ahead. This week we got the Heat twice, tomorrow and Friday, both at home. Heat not great this year, only 10 and 11.
Be interesting to see.
It's getting old. I mean, Lowry's up there, Butler's up there. You can't.
Suns are playing well too.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have called that either. Number one in the West.
Yeah, they're still good.
Yeah.
And then we go finally on the road after 6-game homestand at the Nets. What is that? Saturday or Sunday? At the Nets Sunday, and then back to back at Toronto Monday. So double Heat, Nets, Toronto are our next 4. Those are all interesting matchups. All projected playoff teams, I guess, if you go on.
We're due to drop one
preseason.
this week. That's my prediction.
I mean, we gotta,
I don't know which one, but
we're not gonna go. We're not gonna break 73-9 or anything. We gotta lose some games eventually. But
I would think this week we will have a close
interesting.
one.
And then after that, I
2.
think we go on a little West Coast trip. Yeah, after that we have at Phoenix, at Golden State, at Clippers, at Lakers.
The Warriors too are struggling.
Yeah.
Interesting.
An interesting year.
It's early in the season. Who knows? I mean, as I said, we're a quarter through now. From last year, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Think about that.
Yep. We're a quarter through now, though.
Yeah. All right.
I'm excited. That early. Yeah.
We're looking good.
Looking good. No complaints.
Few tweaks. And we're on our way. Yeah, Suns are good. 14-6.
We'll see them next week.
All right, that's all I got.
And that has been your weekly or almost weekly edition of Shamrock Talk, brought to you by Raising Cane's, Chicken, Teva Footwear, Gary's Old Town Tavern, Naples, Maine.
I'm healthy. Halls is no longer a sponsor.
Halls dropped after Mom's cough was good. So
2 weeks. That was not good.
So we have another sponsor slot open if anyone wants to advertise with Shamrock Talk. You can find us on Twitter at Shamrock Talk Pod, Instagram Shamrock Talk, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcast. That's all I got. Go Celtics.
Go Celtics.